Hello, Collateral Gaming listeners. Chazzle Dazzle here from the Trial by Error Variety Show podcast. I just wanted to take a few seconds to invite you guys over to what we do. No, it's not video games, but we do invite really awesome and unique bands from all over the world. We dig deep into their souls and find really cool stories to tell you, and there's tons of music every week, so subscribe to us wherever you subscribe to your podcast. We look forward to having you.
Before we start this podcast, I'd like to dedicate this to Chris Evans' penis.
May his social media presence and his overall presence in our community rest in peace. But it is America's dick.
That is indeed America's dick. And, you know, God bless Chris Evans. Actually, guys, all jokes aside, on a very serious note here, and a very somber note, we'd like to dedicate this podcast to the memory of Chadwick Boseman. Our hearts are absolutely broken by this. Me and Zach and Dakota, and I felt that this was really an appropriate time to talk about the Marvel Universe because his presence is going to sorely be missed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, he truly was the Black Panther.
He was. And honestly, finding out that he was dealing with this for almost 4 years, it kind of blows my mind with how well of a performance he put on in Black Panther and Infinity War and Endgame. He was just stellar in everything that he did. And I had absolutely no idea that he was dealing with this, which made it even more of a shock when he passed away.
Yeah, no one did. Not even, the other crew members or the cast or anything. He was very private about it, and that makes it even more admirable. Ever since, Captain America Civil War, he's been dealing with this.
Indeed he was. And, Ash, when you told me about that news, it just absolutely broke my heart, and I couldn't believe it. I refused to believe it for a second, but he's gone, and he will be definitely missed.
Yeah. Well, Chadwick, rest in power, King.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. We're going to miss you, buddy. That being said, let's start talking about Marvel's Avengers. I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And I'm Zachary Gio.
And I'm Dakota Chancellor.
This is Collateral Gaming. Welcome to Collateral Gaming, the only video game podcast that matters, where we focus on good games, bad games, and everything else in between in the world of gaming. We are podcasting straight from San Antonio, Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420-friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it blunts, bongs, joints, dabs, smoke it if you've got it, my friends. Smoke it if you've got it. And today we've got Zach back.
Hello.
And we've got Dakota as well, but he's mostly playing the game that we're talking about. But we'll let him drop a comment here once in a while.
Every once in a while.
It's good to have my bro back. It's been a while. We've missed you, bro. And it's also awesome to continue to have Zach on here. Like we said last time, Zach might be sticking it in for the long haul right here. Right, man?
Yes, sir. I'm super excited. Dakota, it's nice to hear from you, man. How you doing?
You as well. No, good to hear from you as well. I haven't really met you yet, so it's good to actually kind of, talk now.
We'll have plenty of chances.
Oh, yeah.
To talk face to face here. I'll tilt the camera a little bit so at least you can see him. Yeah, he's playing the game that we're talking about, which is Marvel's Avengers. This is going to be more of a kind of a news segment that we're going to do on the show. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to call it yet, but by the time it comes out, we'll have it. Maybe like launch edition, game launch edition, something like that. But there's just so many new games coming out and not enough time to talk about them. We already have so many games on our schedule that I decided that we'd run something that's kind of analogous to what we do on Collateral Cinema at the Movies edition, where we'll take a game on its, first week of launch or maybe just a little bit afterwards, like in this case, and just kind of a spoiler-free first impressions type of thing. We may not have even beat the game, but we'll just play through as much as we can in, a day or a week or however, and then kind of talk about it. And what game better than Marvel's Avengers? I mean, it's something that Dakota and I have been excited about for a long time, ever since they announced the first trailer, ever since they even just teased the game.
I'm not going to lie. When I first saw that this game was coming out, the first thing I noticed was that the characters didn't look at all like the movie portrayals. And at first that bothered me, but after diving into it a little bit more, doing a little bit of research, and finally picking up the game, shout out to Ash for that. Thank you so much. I've absolutely been loving every second that I've put into this game. And I'm not too terribly far in the game, but I cannot wait to put countless hours into this thing. It's just beautifully done, and yeah, I'm sure we'll talk a lot about it, but man, I just can't wait to see what all this game has.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I have beat the campaign. I've actually been playing this game for a while. I pre-ordered it, so I was playing it during the beta period as well, in which you got to play kind of the introductory segment and a couple missions with Hulk and Kamala. And actually, the missions that y'all have played through right now, those were in the beta as well. So I've played through those twice now. And then a couple of other, missions featuring Iron Man and Black Widow as well. So I had a little bit of hands-on experience with this. And then the day that it came out, since the day that it came out, I've been playing the hell out of it.
Which is understandable, because it's one of those games that you just can't put it down. Once you start a session, it's impossible to put it down.
Yeah.
It's so well done. I mean, it's kind of buggy in places, but that's to be expected. This game is, it's not necessarily a new concept, but with how much detail and how much customization that there is in it, you're going to have some issues. And, what are updates for? That's exactly what they're for.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it is a little bit buggy. I will say that. I don't know why this game gets as much negative criticism as I've seen, though, on social media, because I loved it. I thought that it's been a fantastic representation of the Marvel Universe. Definitely one of the best superhero games I've played in a long while. I mean, it's not going to stand anywhere close to, say, like the Batman Arkham games or Spider-Man PS4, because those are masterpieces, but this is fun. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It can get a little bit repetitive, but it just kind of depends what you're doing. If you're switching it out and playing different characters, if you're playing different types of missions, there's always something more. I haven't really gotten bored with this myself, because I like to switch it up.
Yep.
So I can see how it can be repetitive, but that hasn't really happened to me. And I've played through a lot of the content, mainly the campaign, but I've done some of the bonus content and some of the post-campaign Avengers Initiative stuff as well.
It's cool. I can't wait to get my hands on that stuff. I'm only a little bit into the game, but I just started playing it on Friday, actually, so getting into it, it's really exciting. So I can't wait to see what kind of multiplayer they have to offer and just how it works. So, yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that's really impressed me is how unique each of the characters' playstyles are and how well they represent those characters. And, I know this is really cliche, again, but, playing as Iron Man, you feel like Iron Man. You play as Hulk, and you feel like the Hulk. They really tailored the playstyles and the movesets of these characters to both the Marvel Cinematic Universe portrayals and, the comic portrayals. I will say there is a lot of heavy inspiration, I think, from the MCU films.
Yes.
I think, you were saying the characters look different. They do, but at the same time, you can definitely see in both the way that they look and the way that the actors that portray them. Let me tell you, the voice talent in here is spectacular. They spared no expense. We've got Troy Baker, Nolan North, Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham. They're all here. But you can definitely tell that there's inspiration from the Marvel Universe. And in a lot of ways, I think that they tend to emulate in both appearance and portrayal.
Oh, yeah. Tony was perfect. The first time I heard him speak and the first time he made his appearance at the beginning of the game, I was like, that is Tony Stark. That is what I've been waiting on. And it was just spectacular to me, because that's another thing I was iffy about. I was like, what if they don't get these characters right? And so far, they've done an amazing job. I absolutely love what they've done with Dr. Banner, his whole character, and it's just, I cannot wait to see where they go with that. I love I don't want to spoil anything, because that's not what we're doing here, but you just have to play it and see. Bruce so far is my favorite character.
Yeah, he's great. So I want to say, in addition to the characters, they are taking inspiration. They also are kind of their own characters. Tony Stark does feel like Tony Stark. He doesn't feel exactly like Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, but he's definitely got those aspects of it. I definitely see a lot of Ruffalo in the Bruce Banner in this game, but he's also got his own character, and he digs deeper in a few different ways. I really also enjoy the character of Kamala Khan.
Yes.
She's a sweetheart, and she's an awesome character. I never really knew much about her run as Miss Marvel. I haven't really read her comics, but I'd heard of her, and getting to know her personality, at least as seen in this game. I mean, she's easily one of my favorites now.
Yeah, she's marvelous. Pun intended.
Hey, I'm the dad here. I'm supposed to be making the dad jokes.
Give me a few years, man. I got you.
Okay. All right. Well, Dakota's kind of playing some right now. What do you think?
It's a lot of fun, honestly. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I haven't really had anything to complain about yet.
Yeah. No, there really isn't. And I'm not sure. I wonder if a lot of the criticism is like people haven't really played the game because, it's fun as hell. I'm having an absolute blast with it. I liked the harm missions. Those are pretty cool. I'm seeing that on the screen right now. You're about to have a lot of fun with that, Dakota. Those were very kind of remind me of like Star Trek: The Next Generation with like the holodeck.
Oh, okay. Oh man. I haven't seen that show in so long. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. And I like the multiplayer aspect. I like how, a lot of the missions in the game, even some of the campaign missions, are kind of these strike type missions where you can have other characters help you out, and they're always going to be someone different. So say you choose to play as Thor, who's an absolute blast to play as, you'll have someone in there who will play Iron Man or Hulk, joining alongside you.
Yeah, and I also really like how, I mean, this isn't the first game to introduce skill trees. Of course, we've had that for quite a long time, but this is the first game I've ever seen that has so much to do with skill trees. Each character has their own level up system. Each character can just get stronger and gain new abilities over time. Last night I was just playing and I was looking at all the different abilities that both Kamala and Bruce have, and it's crazy because it's going to take a long time to earn the skill points because the skill points are also in this game. But it's going to take a long time to actually earn all of the skill points to gain all of the abilities. And since every single character has that potential, who knows how much time you can put into this game. And I love that. I love the fact that I know that playing a $60 game, I'm going to get my time worth,
Yeah, exactly. There's so much to do, and I love getting to. I get excited about unlocking new abilities. Like I'll look at the skill tree and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know which one I want to try," and I want to kind of tailor it to my play style a little bit and choose the abilities that seem to match what I do. Very quickly, you might identify which character is going to kind of be your main. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, yeah, but I kind of want to play this character too.
Yep.
I want to get a little bit of experience with this.
To be honest with you, in the beginning, I played as Black Widow, and she was by far my favorite, between all of them. I would think I would have liked Thor the most, but Black Widow was like my favorite. So
she was incredible. That opening scene with her was absolutely amazing. And I love how you kind of get a taste of every single character before the game really kicks off. You get to see how they feel, and it really lets you figure out from the get-go, okay, this is going to be my favorite character. This is going to be one of my favorite things to do. I know I'm going to have to work a little bit to be able to use all of them, but it's worth it because once I get there, I'm going to have a blast. And so it kind of gives you a goal to strive for, and I love that. This is it's been a long time since I've put my time into a skill tree game. I think the last one I did was Fallen Order. And while gaining those abilities was a lot of fun, you're just playing as Cal for the entire game. So while I was excited to learn all of those different skills as Cal, now I have 5, 6 different characters that I can look forward to. And that's really exciting. But yeah, Dakota, I'm going to have to agree with you. Black Widow, she's amazing. Yeah.
I think that was one of the highlights of the introductory segment. I think of the characters in the introductory segment, she was the most fun to play as with her boss fight with Taskmaster. But I found when I was actually pleasantly surprised, playing as Captain America actually was a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
Oh yeah.
Now and then when Thor comes into the scene during the campaign, that's also a really, really awesome moment in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yes. 100% agreed, because you actually feel like a god of thunder. It is incredible. I can't say too much without spoiling something, but man, what you can do with these characters is unreal. And you know that they put a lot of time and effort into the game just because of the base abilities that you have. And they're so different. There's so much stuff that you can do.
Well, yeah, I mean, for instance, like Hulk can pick up enemies and smash them in the ground with that same move he did on Loki in the Avengers.
Mm-hmm. And I love how
he clings onto walls and go ahead.
Yes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. With Thor, you can throw Mjolnir, and it's amazing. It's like that's definitely ability that you should have as the God of Thunder, because that's something that he does quite frequently in the movies and comics and stuff. That's his baby.
Well, and I remember playing God of War and throwing the Leviathan axe and thinking these mechanics would be perfect in a Thor game.
Absolutely.
This is what we need. And Crystal Dynamics delivered. In fact, I believe one of the developers that was behind God of War was personally working on this game, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I remember reading something somewhere that someone who was attached to that, and so people had hope. And yeah, it doesn't disappoint. Throwing Mjolnir did feel a lot like God of War, and I liked being able to throw it and summon it back.
Yes.
I mean, it just fulfilled my fantasy. And if anyone that knows me in real life may know, like Thor is kind of my he's my avatar. He's my character because I feel he's like my kindred spirit. I have, like the long hair and the beard and kind of the dad bod. So, ever since the Fat Thor came along in Avengers Endgame, I've always been super excited. I'm like, I'm Fat Thor! But so Thor was easily the character that I knew was going to be my favorite. But then, like I said, I surprised myself playing as Iron Man was awesome. I love being able to switch between the repulsors and the lasers and the missiles.
Yep. I love how you can't just auto lock and shoot things. You have to actually take your time and aim. It's so much fun because you actually have to present some skill.
Right. Speaking of aim, that's the main antagonist this time around. I think we could, tell you that much. I think that's pretty much in the trailers and promotional material. But most of the enemies in this game are aim robots and soldiers. So it's actually really cool because a lot of like the finishing type moves can involve a lot more brutal attacks, because they can just like rip off robot heads and shit. Yep. So yeah, there's no holds barred here, and like I don't know, no bar. I don't even remember how the phrase goes.
I think they really aimed to please with the antagonists in this game.
I'm
so sorry.
No. I love the control system. I love how every character has a ranged attack. Even Hulk just literally takes a chunk out of the earth and throws it. Okay, there you go. And every character has an intrinsic ability, and every character has like kind of like a guard and parry type move. So they did a really good job, and it was exciting getting to know each and every character. And what's really surprising is this game came from Crystal Dynamics, who are behind the Tomb Raider reboots, and another game that we did previously. That was the 2013 Tomb Raider. So you can kind of see some of those aspects in there, with like some of the wall climbing when you're playing as Kamala.
Yep.
So, but other than that, I mean, this game really is its own thing, and I'm surprised by the versatility that Crystal Dynamics managed to pull off with this, and I have a lot of faith in their development team.
Yeah, when I first saw Square Enix, I was just like, wow, I haven't played a Square Enix game in so long, and it's really exciting just to see what kind of game they were pulling off. Because usually, for me, Square Enix is always, no offense, and I hope I don't hurt anybody here by saying this, but Square Enix usually they have amazing games, Final Fantasy and stuff like that. But the way they look and the way they feel, like the gameplay styles, I've just never been too comfortable with it,
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean that's your opinion, bro. I don't have a lot of experience with it. I know I did play a Crystal Dynamics game, and so I think Tomb Raider was published by Square Enix as well.
Yeah,
because I think Crystal Dynamics is a subsidiary, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have known that this was developed by Crystal Dynamics. It's such a different feeling game. If anything, this kind of feels a lot like Destiny to me.
Yes,
and I mean that in the best ways. I mean, it's got the strike type missions and even the freaking UI of the inventory and the ability to dismantle all feels like Destiny.
I feel a little bit of Spider-Man though too, like Spider-Man PS4, like with the parrying and the attack styles. I don't know. It reminds me of PS4 Spider-Man a little bit.
I can agree with that.
That's a good thing. One early rumor was that this game would actually tie into the same universe as Spider-Man PS4 and that they were building up. And a lot of people thought that that might be the case because even Spider-Man mentions in the PS4 game something about the Avengers being on the West Coast, which, you know, they do. But alas, it turns out that that's not the case. And the Spider-Man that's going to be brought into this game later is actually going to be its own version. But I'm still excited to be able to play as Spidey because he's my favorite.
It would be awesome to see how that would tie in, but honestly, just if you've seen Avengers Endgame, just based on who's in the game, I feel like Spider-Man PS4 wouldn't tie into it, you know?
Yeah, maybe so. I'm excited to see what they do with their version of Spider-Man, who's going to be in a controversial move, is going to be a PlayStation exclusive character, which isn't a problem for us. We're playing on PlayStation, but I do feel bad for those that are going to get to miss out on that. But if it's in a consolation, all the DLC in this game is going to be free.
Oh, yes!
Yes, and that is a very popular move. I mean, we're having, for sure, I know Clint Barton as Hawkeye is confirmed, Kate Bishop is confirmed, and Spider-Man is confirmed as a PlayStation exclusive, with no other console exclusives other than him. And I think that has to do a lot with the rights and some kind of deal that Marvel made with Sony regarding the game rights of Spider-Man. But, which apparently isn't completely restrictive because we do have games like Ultimate Alliance that feature the characters, so it's kind of weird, but I think there's a deal where they, you know, I don't know.
I've replayed that day in my head 1,000 times. The Avengers take the fall despite saving the day. We failed him. I believe that we are dangerous.
There's still a bad guy out there who wants to hurt the world. You're already a hero. The only one left to convince is yourself. We can stop him.
Yeah, now we're talking?
All units, find the girl.
People believe in the Avengers. Your differences are your greatest superpower. No matter how bad things get, you always come together. Aren't you gonna say the thing?
What?
Avengers assemble.
Well, you know, I'm really excited. I'm glad that EA didn't have a hand in this because then we'd have to pay for all the DLC. We'd have to pay for everything that would ever happen with this game. Like if they wanted to update it, they'd probably charge us for it. So
And microtransactions. Thankfully, the only content in this game that's paid content is just cosmetics. And there is a way to earn those cosmetics in-game as well. So, you know, all around, it's actually a really, really, really good way to do it.
yeah, because I mean, how you look, you know, that's something that's different for everybody, you know. But you know, actual content that will make the game better. I'm sure everybody's opinions will be different. You know, yeah, cosmetics will make this game so much more awesome, but abilities, missions, characters, all of that stuff is something that everybody should be able to take part in. You know, that's not something that we should have to pay for because we've already paid to have the game experience. So why should we have to pay for, you know, the other playable things that will be added to this game?
Right, exactly. And a lot of people, I think, would have felt that, you know, the number of characters that are, you know, going to end up in the ultimate product kind of deserve to be in the game. But I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of satisfied with the cast as it is.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, you know, you've got Kamala as Ms. Marvel. You've got Iron Man. You've got Thor. You've got Hulk. You've got Captain America. And you've got Black Widow. I mean, really the only person who's missing from that, you know, the OG6 Avengers from the Avengers movie.
Hawkeye.
It would be Hawkeye. And he's
coming later.
I guess if you wanted to be true to the comics, Ant-Man and the Wasp should be a part of this too.
Yeah.
But I will say this, Hank Pym does make an appearance in the game. And that's not a spoiler because I do remember they showed him in a trailer at one point. So Hank Pym is in the game.
They showed something about the interaction with Pym particles and the stuff you can do with that in the game. So
yeah.
I'm interested to see where that goes because, like I said, I'm not too deep in it, but there's so much stuff left to discover. Dakota, what are you? Well, no, I can't ask you that because that might spoil something. But how's the gameplay going for you right now?
I'm enjoying it. I'm in a simulation area, the harm area right now, so I'm kind of learning some moves. So it's kind of nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm watching it. You know, the harm missions were actually really fun. I enjoyed getting the opportunity to kind of play the tutorial segment for each character and learn their movesets a little bit, and then get to play as them in an area and get to test out their moves. And then you can go on, you know, the full missions, and you really get a chance to break it out and do your own thing. And I like how even in a lot of the campaign missions, you get to choose who you're going to play as, and so it allows you to, you know, have a favorite Avenger, or, you know, get to test out multiple. And as they introduce characters in the game, you're going to get a chance to play as everyone.
Yeah, and that's super exciting because the fact just knowing that I'm not going to have to pay for that makes me so excited to see what's coming. Because if I had to pay for it, I'd probably still do it, but I would you know, I would loathe it more so than I would already.
Right. Yeah, and every single character is fun to play as, and I like how they all have different abilities as far as like movement traversal goes. And you know, like I said before, there's a long range attack for every single character, and just the level of detail with each characters. I mean, you can tell whoever designed the movesets really understood the characters, both in the films and in the source material.
Yeah. I like how it's balanced. It doesn't feel, yes, playing as each character feels like playing as each specific character, but the movesets are balanced, so you don't have more options for one person. You know, each specific character has skill sets tied to each button combination. You don't have to learn different combos.
Right, but you still get a different experience with each character at the same time. Like I said, it really does feel like you're playing as Iron Man, and you get to hover around and even fly around, you know. And when Thor flies, he spins the hammer, and just being able to just what I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. I like being able to like jump up in the air as Iron Man and shoot things out of the sky. I mean, his moveset is definitely more targeted towards a range type.
Yes.
But then you have Hulk, who's very much a melee type character who just comes in and smashes everything. And you can just rush across the environment. Speaking of which, I like the big open environments that you have. Another thing that kind of makes it feel like Destiny is that you have these different open areas. There's multiple types of like side missions and things that you can do. Like there's chests with materials in them, and difficult enemies that can help you progress. So, and there's a lot of opportunities to grind and upgrade your gear.
Yeah, and I really like how it's not. There are some games that have gameplay like this where all your upgrades and stuff are kind of out in the open and they're kind of easy to get. With this, it's not too terribly difficult, but you do still have to look for it. It kind of gives you a sense of exploration. It kind of forces you to explore new areas, and I love that. Because I, as somebody who's not the smartest video gamer, I like a small challenge, but not something that's going to like make me want to cry, you know?
Well, I don't know, bro. I mean, you play Zelda and Metroid, and those are some of the hardest puzzles I've ever had in a game.
Yeah, this is true. But it's different because I kind of grew up playing those, and so I have to, because I love them so much, I kind of had to force myself to figure it out.
And there's a little bit of puzzle-solving aspect. This game is definitely more action-oriented.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of puzzle-solving involved in it, and some platforming as well, which is cool.
Yep. Yeah.
And the story was really gripping.
And some of the boss fights that I've already encountered, man, they are intense. I will say that I'm not going to say who it is, but Hulk's first big boss encounter is something that people who play this game are just kind of, if you're a huge fan of the comics or just the overall MCU, you're going to freak out. Because when he first appeared, I was just like, no way, there's no way he's here. And then you have to fight him, and it was incredible. So I was really taken aback by that.
Yeah, that was actually a good fight, and I know, you know, specifically what character you're talking about. That was a fun part, and just going from one place to another, I felt I was always excited to see what was next to come in the story and where the characters were going to go next, and the buildup of the final villain, who I guess I won't reveal.
Yeah,
but it's very convincing. I thought it was interesting because I never thought I would see. I was interested to see how this character would be translated to like a more realistic setting, like in a movie, for instance. And they did a good job with it, with developing this character over time.
100%. And I love how they kind of make you attach yourself. I love it when they don't just make a villain, a dastardly villain that's just evil and terrible. they kind of attach heartstrings to him a little bit, and you kind of feel for him in a way, but at the same time, you know that he needs to be stopped.
Right, exactly. Well, I don't know. I don't know necessarily that I felt a lot of empathy for this villain character, but one of the other characters for sure, his direct subordinate is someone that you kind of you do get to feel a little bit more humanity with her, I would say.
The reason I say that is because he's got good intentions with it, but the way he's going about it is all wrong and extremely selfish, and that's why he makes a fantastic villain.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a great story. It definitely fits in. It would fit in as a movie. I could see this as a film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for sure. Not specifically, it wouldn't fit in continuity wise, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course. With the way that Tony is at the beginning of the game, you kind of see why he is this way and why everything that happens.
Yeah, no, exactly. I love the directions that they go with the characters, and they put them in spots that are maybe a little bit more uncomfortable or in areas where we might not have seen these characters before, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then reuniting the Avengers and bringing them together with, I guess Kamala is kind of the centerpiece, is a really, really, really cool aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm. And I cannot stress enough how much I love Kamala Khan. She is fantastic. Her character design and voice actress behind her, absolutely spectacular. And I was not disappointed at all. And hopefully I will continue to be pleasantly surprised throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, and you would think like stretchy powers seem kind of lame, but they actually pull it off in this game, and she feels really fun to play as. And I love being, it's really satisfying to be able to stretch your arm and hit an enemy out of the air. Or any of the grappling that she does to traverse across the environment.
100%. Yeah, I was kind of iffy about it at first, and I was like, oh, wow, really? But then I got used to her, and I was just like, okay, this is fantastic. You can save your butt on multiple occasions. You think you're going to fall, but you could just grab a ledge. It's fantastic.
It makes me excited for the characters that are coming up and to think about, what kind of movesets they're going to have. Is it going to be more like this character or more like that character?
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy how every character, even when it comes to just... Every character has a different, traversal type technique.
Yep.
For instance, Iron Man and Thor can fly, obviously. Kamala and Widow can grapple and from, swing onto ledges and zip up. Swing on poles and zip up to ledges. And Captain America can double jump and run on walls. And Hulk can... like Hulk does, and I don't think any other game has really gone into this level before, but he can actually jump and cling onto walls and then jump off onto another one. So I really like how they explore dimensions of these characters, aspects of these characters' abilities that aren't typically explored in video games or haven't been before.
Mm-hmm. I love the Hulk and his traversal technique, the way you can just kind of build on your jumps. Like the farther you're going, the more you jump, the higher and the faster you go. It's really cool. And I enjoy that quite a bit.
Yeah, I did as well. And I enjoy a lot of the intrinsic abilities that each character has. Like Hulk has his rage ability, and Kamala has the polymorph ability.
Yep.
And Thor has the Odin Force.
Oh.
It's actually really, really, really fun to get to know these characters and really get to develop with your playstyle and upgrade the skill tree to your needs and to your play style.
I'm a bit of a completionist though, so I feel like I'm going to try to play this game enough just to get all the skills for every single character, because I'm gonna feel left out,
Oh, absolutely. I feel the same way. I want to, but as far as which skills am I going to go after first, But yeah, in the end, I want to unlock it all. I want to get to know every character intimately.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I cannot wait to have more time to play with these characters, because like I said, I've only gotten to play with Ms. Marvel and the Hulk. So, and I've had a blast just playing with these two characters, so I can't wait to see what kind of skills I can put forth with these other characters. I can't wait. Specifically Iron Man and Thor, and a little bit more Black Widow love.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I like the individual character mission chains. Those are a lot of fun. You get a chance to actually unlock some of the more iconic costumes for characters by going through their mission chains. So each character, and this is in the campaign, but you can also do it in the post-campaign content, have their own kind of quest lines per se.
Yeah.
Which it's a side quest that's tailored to that character with some other objectives that are more general for achievement type things. But in the end, that unlocks another costume, and all the costumes in this game are pretty cool too. I mean, most of them seem to be just reskins, like recolors of other costumes. I do wish there was a little bit more variety, but maybe that's an opportunity for more downloadable content.
Yes, 100%. And you're kind of pumping me up to play the rest of this game, just simply because, I'm not too far in it, and you're talking about all this customization, and I'm just like, man! Ah!
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I guess not a lot more to say without really spoiling it and getting into the game.
Yeah.
But what were your final thoughts on this, Zach?
Honestly, if you haven't at least looked at it or tried it out, I would 100% say give it a shot, because it's an absolutely phenomenal experience, and I cannot wait to see what all is in this game. I think, like we talked about at the beginning, it's a tad buggy, but that's okay, because some of the best games start out like that. I'm okay with it, just as long as they continue to fix certain things if they can, and just to see what all they can come up with, because this game has a lot of potential to be one of the best games that's come out this year, if not for superheroes in a long time. And so I love it. It's absolutely stellar. So yeah, I love it. What about you?
What about you, Dakota? What are your final thoughts?
I mean, like I said, I haven't gotten really very far through the game, but I'm enjoying what I've played so far. And if it's as any good as Spider-Man, or as any good as, I don't know, if you're saying it is, then I'm excited for it.
Yeah, because we all know that Spider-Man PS4 was an absolute masterpiece.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was actually our season finale, our first season, and I had a lot of fun with that. I'm super excited about Spider-Man Miles Morales coming out. But my final thoughts on this, I think that it's not necessarily a perfect game, and I don't know if I would hold it to the same caliber as some of the better superhero games out there, but for sure, it is so much fun to play, and just with a little bit more content and a little bit more characters and mission types in the game, I think that this definitely could be a really, really, really awesome game and something to remember. And I'm definitely excited to play more of this. I found myself sucked into it. I could play for hours and hours. I haven't gotten bored of it yet. There's just always something else that I want to do. And I really love the direction that this is going. I'm happy to have another superhero game that actually has quite a bit of detail and quality put into it.
Yes, sir. And I think I'm about an hour and a half into the game. Ash, how much time do you think you spent just putting into the campaign, going through it?
I mean, it's not like terribly long or anything. I might say like maybe five or more hours, five to 8 hours, something like maybe around like 8 hours when we're all said and done through the campaign. I mean, there's a decent amount of content. It's not like crazy a lot, but that's just the campaign.
Yeah.
There are a lot of there's even more missions that open up post campaign, and there are a lot of side missions and things that I didn't really invest a whole lot of time in.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see if I could get through the campaign before we recorded it, which I did.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's definitely a lot I skipped. And that and just leveling up your characters. I definitely think there's a good amount of content to be had with that, at least maybe 25 hours of gameplay, easily.
Yeah. Well, a game like this, I wouldn't say anything about it being terribly long, just because I love games that have so much content packed into them that it takes you a while to get all the way through it. And, with a game like this so far, as to what I've seen, I would not mind at all if this game took me hours upon hours upon hours to do just everything I could. So those are my thoughts so far.
Yeah, for sure. And we're definitely excited to play more of Avengers. As far as Collateral Gaming goes, very soon I want to release this probably around the same time. We're going to finally get around to our episode on Action 52. It's an absolute shit show. It's going to be terrible.
Yes, it is. It's awful, but it's beautifully awful, if I say so myself. I've played about half the games, and about half of the games that I've played are unplayable, so I'm sure we'll dive more into that. But they're so beautifully unplayable where you're cringing and smiling at the same time. So.
And then our season finale on Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag will be out by the end of September. Wake me up when September ends.
Wake me up! Different song, but it still fits.
Yeah, that's a different song. But no, I want to get that done because season 3 starts up in October. And we'll be revealing our season premiere very soon here. But before we do that, I want to make sure we wrap up everything. Maybe a couple more bonus round episodes to get out there before this month ends, and we'll wrap up on season 2. I think it's been an excellent season. I've had a lot of fun with it. I'm excited to have some more episodes like this where we get into some of them, because there's just too many new games that are coming out for us to possibly get into. So definitely some games that are coming out, like Spider-Man Miles Morales and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I'm really excited about that. Those are going to be some of our launch episodes, I think, that we're going to be doing.
Man, I'm looking forward to all this new content coming out. It's been a blast being a part of it so far, and so just good things to come.
Yeah, thanks for being on, man. We really appreciate and we enjoy your presence. I think the episodes are really turning out really well. We've got a lot of good discussion going on, and I'm really excited to see where we can go. Kind of thinking about Collateral Gaming as having almost kind of a relaunch when we come up with the new season. Definitely want to get more regular content out, content out more regularly. We're going to start, hopefully have some kind of, between the bonus round and everything, we'll have some kind of weekly content. We're going to be doing like 2-part episodes on our numbered episodes. So we'll be recording them in one sitting, but we'll be releasing those bi-weekly instead of monthly. And then with the bonus runs in between, I mean, that gives us something to release once a week, which is going to be good. Hopefully that's the plan. During this time, I also want to make sure we move forward and do a lot more of the Let's Plays. Zach has expressed interest in helping me with some of that stuff.
Yes, sir.
And we did get our Let's Play out on, or some of it, at least half of our content on Zelda Breath of the Wild. So look forward to that. I've also got everything done. I just needs to be uploaded for our Let's Play on Link: The Faces of Evil, the infamous CDI game. And I've been playing a little bit with Assassin's Creed 2. We're going to be doing a Let's Play on Spider-Man and God of War and Jedi Fallen Order. We've got a lot planned.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to those. Those are some really good games, bangers, if I will say so myself. And getting into those, not just by myself, but with friends and having more stuff to talk about. Ultimately, it's really exciting.
It's going to be fantastic. We're super, super stoked for what's coming forward. And you can find Collateral Gaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We are a part of the Chill Lover Radio Network. And we also have our parent podcast, if you don't listen to it, Collateral Cinema Movie Podcast. Just wrapped up season 3. We did our season finale on Best Friends. And we're opening up season 4 with Neil Breen's Fateful Findings. That's going to be coming up in October as well. We're going to be releasing those pretty much side by side. I mean, we're offset by a week. A week after the new Collateral Cinema episode comes out, we'll be releasing the Collateral Gaming episode. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. This was kind of a fun episode. I liked getting into a brand new game that I was really excited to play, and hope to do some more of these soon and also get some awesome kick-ass content for you guys. But that being said, I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And I'm Zachary Gio.
And I'm Dakota Chancellor.
We are Collateral Gaming, and we are out. Collateral Gaming is an L Company production. All music and game clips are owned by their respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor. That is indeed America's dick.